Alright guys, welcome to the video. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Human hair. 17% nitrogen, pest repellent. This one might sound a bit strange, but it's actually been practiced for centuries. European and Asian gardeners have been using human hair as fertilizer since at least the 1700s, and it's recently made a comeback with modern homesteaders. Human hair is 50% carbon and 17% nitrogen, higher than manure. It breaks down slowly over 2 to 4 months, becoming long-term fertilizer full of keratin that improves soil structure. Mix small amounts into planting holes for tomatoes, squash, and zucchinis, or scatter it in raised bed topsoil. Hair also deters rabbits and deer because they hate the human scent. Some gardeners visit hair salons and ask for discarded bags at day's end, then bury hair in garden corners and around fruit trees to keep pests away. Stuff hair into tea bag-sized bundles and bury them as nitrogen nodes that feed plants all season. It's slow release, doesn't burn plants, and gives fantastic results in longer season crops. Number 18. Burnt matchsticks, the phosphorus trick. Did you know that match heads contain phosphorus, magnesium, potassium chlorate, and trace sulfur? For that reason, this trick works incredibly well for root development. Crush 10 to 15 used matchsticks into water and you get a mild mineral solution that old-time growers swore by for tomatoes and peppers. Phosphorus drives early root development and flower formation, and this small dose won't burn plants, but gives them exactly what they need during transplanting. Billions of matchsticks get thrown out, but striking them doesn't destroy the minerals, it just burns the combustible coating. Strain the crushed matches out after steeping for a day, then water around the base of fruiting plants. This works especially well for plants showing purple-tinged leaves, which signals phosphorus deficiency. It's targeted feeding using waste most people never think twice about. Number 17. Banana peels. Potassium for flowers and fruit. Bury banana peels 2 to 3 inches deep around tomatoes, peppers, and roses. Or dry and crush peels into powder to sprinkle in planting holes or mix into soil. They slowly release potassium, a key nutrient for strong flowers and fruit set. Potassium also improves disease resistance and helps plants tolerate drought stress. Great for tomatoes that get weak stems or poor fruiting, and roses that need flower power. This is zero-cost targeted potassium feed that doesn't require store-bought supplements. The peels also attract beneficial soil microbes that break down organic matter. One study found that banana peels buried near roses increased bloom count by nearly 30% over a season. Don't leave peels on the surface. Bury them so they break down instead of attracting pests. Number 16. Coffee grounds, nitrogen and slug deterrent. Sprinkle used coffee grounds around acid-loving plants like blueberries, azaleas, rhododendrons, and hydrangeas. Mix lightly into topsoil or compost. Don't bury thick layers because they can mat and repel water. Coffee adds nitrogen, improves soil texture, and slightly acidifies soil, which intensifies blue hydrangea color by helping them absorb aluminum. A surface layer can deter slugs and snails because they hate crawling over the gritty texture. Coffee grounds also contain trace amounts of magnesium, copper, and potassium. However, fresh grounds are acidic, while used grounds are nearly neutral, so use them accordingly. Worms love coffee grounds and will drag them into the soil, creating channels and enriching deeper layers. Cafes throw out pounds of this daily, just ask. Number 15. Cardboard, the weed-killing soil builder. Lay plain cardboard with no tape or glossy print between rows or around perennials. Add mulch like leaves, straw, or wood chips on top. Cardboard blocks light and kills weeds while holding moisture. Worms eat it and drag it down, turning it into carbon-rich organic matter by season's end. This indirectly feeds the soil food web, which then feeds your plants. Cardboard also moderates soil temperature, keeping roots cooler in summer and warmer in spring and fall. By the time the cardboard decomposes, you're left with dark, crumbly soil underneath, where there used to be compacted dirt or weeds. This method is called sheet mulching, and it's how many no-till gardeners build beds without ever turning soil. Use it to reclaim lawn areas or suppress stubborn perennial weeds. Number 14. Lasagna compost. Layer your way to black gold. Alternate green materials like kitchen scraps, fresh grass, and coffee filters with brown materials like dry leaves, straw, and shredded paper. Build in layers like lasagna. Optionally sprinkle garden soil between layers to inoculate microbes. This produces rich, dark compost with almost no turning. Eggshells, onion skins, cabbage leaves, and coffee filters all become future plant food. The system provides balanced nitrogen and carbon, which powers soil life. Greens provide nitrogen, browns provide carbon, and the ratio keeps the pile hot enough to decompose quickly, but not so hot it kills beneficial organisms. This method also reduces odors because browns absorb moisture and prevent anaerobic breakdown. You can build lasagna compost directly in garden beds in fall, let it break down over winter, and plant into it come spring. Number 13. Wood ash, potassium and calcium boost. Scatter a light dusting of cooled, clean wood ash around tomatoes, brassicas, and fruit trees like apples. Add small amounts to compost piles for a mineral boost. Wood ash is alkaline, so never use it around acid-loving plants like blueberries, rhododendrons, or azaleas. Don't dump heavy piles. It can burn plants and wreck pH. Wood ash adds potassium and calcium, which strengthen cell walls and improve disease resistance. It also helps deter some soft-bodied pests because they hate crawling over alkaline dust. Historically, wood ash was spread on fields to sweeten acidic soils and improve crop yields. Modern studies confirm it raises pH and provides trace minerals like magnesium and zinc. Just use it sparingly. A little goes a long way. Number 12. Three Sisters System. Beans as living fertilizer. This one's super interesting because it was practiced and discovered by Native American tribes, particularly the Haudenosaunee, Iroquois, and that knowledge was passed down to early European settlers, which is how we know about it today. Plant corn, then beans, then squash in the same mound. Corn acts as a living trellis. Beans fix nitrogen from the air into the soil through root nodules. Squash acts as living mulch to shade soil and suppress weeds. This system works because beans are natural nitrogen factories once established, enriching soil for corn and squash. The symbiosis also confuses pests and maximizes space, best done with traditional, vigorous heirloom varieties, not ultra-modern dwarf types. The bean roots leave behind nitrogen nodules that feed next year's crops even after harvest. It produces more calories per square foot than monoculture planting and builds soil instead of depleting it, which is why indigenous farmers could grow food in the same plots for generations. Number 11. Morning watering rule. Disease prevention equals better growth. Water in the morning, never late evening. Leaves dry quickly, which means much less fungal disease like mildew, black spot, and blight. Healthier plants equals better nutrient uptake from the fertilizer you're already using. Evening watering leaves foliage wet overnight, creating perfect conditions for fungal spores to germinate and spread. Morning watering also reduces stress, because plants can take up moisture before the day's heat hits. This simple timing adjustment can cut fungal problems by half in humid climates. It also reduces water waste because less evaporates in cooler morning temperatures compared to midday heat. If you must water in the evening, water at the base of plants and keep foliage dry. Drip irrigation or soaker hoses work best for this. Number 10. Crushed eggshells. Calcium to prevent blossom. Rinse and dry eggshells, then crush them finely with a mortar and pestle, rolling pin, or blender. Work into soil around tomatoes, peppers, squash, and brassicas. Eggshells provide slow-release calcium, which helps prevent blossom end rot, a common problem linked to calcium transport issues and inconsistent watering. Calcium also improves soil structure slightly over time and supports strong cell wall development in plants. You can sprinkle crushed shells in compost as a mineral correction. The finer you crush them, the faster they break down and release calcium. Some gardeners bake eggshells at low heat to sterilize them and make them more brittle for easier crushing. Eggshells are nearly pure calcium carbonate, the same compound found in agricultural lime, making them a perfect free substitute. Number 9. Comfrey tea, the dynamic accumulator. Grow comfrey, often the Baching 14 variety, in a dedicated patch. Its deep roots pull up nutrients from subsoil that shallow-rooted plants can't reach. Cut leaves several times per season and either lay them as mulch around heavy feeders or make liquid fertilizer. Stuff a bucket with comfrey leaves, add water to cover, and let it steep for 2 to 3 weeks. It will smell intense. Strain and dilute about 1 part tea to 10 parts water. Use as liquid feed around tomatoes, potatoes, squash, and other heavy feeding crops. Comfrey concentrates potassium and micronutrients into its leaves, making homemade high-octane plant food with zero purchased inputs. It's been called the gardener's friend in Europe for centuries because it mines minerals and delivers them exactly where you need them. Number 8. Diluted urine, high nitrogen liquid feed. This one might be the one on the list that most people will find disgusting, but it is free and performs so well that I even started doing it 3 years ago and swear by it now. Fresh human urine diluted about 1 part urine into 10 parts water. It's a powerful nitrogen fertilizer. Apply to soil, never leaves, near corn, leafy greens, brassicas, and other heavy feeders. Only use urine from healthy adults. Avoid if taking any medications. Apply to moist soil, not bone-dry dirt, to prevent saltburn. Don't use directly on crops you'll eat raw that day. Give time and rain or watering between application and harvest. Urine is high in nitrogen, plus some phosphorus and potassium. Historically used in many cultures as a powerful free fertilizer. Studies show properly diluted urine performs even better than synthetic nitrogen fertilizers. It's sterile when fresh and breaks down quickly in soil. Some commercial greenhouses in Scandinavia collect and process urine as part of closed-loop nutrient systems. Number 7. Buried fish, Native American nitrogen bomb. This might sound gross, but it works. Almost like magic. Bury fish heads, guts, or small fish a few inches below. Planting holes for corn, squash, and heavy feeding crops. This is the traditional Native American method that transformed poor coastal soils into productive plots. The Pilgrims learned this technique from the Wampanoag people, and it saved their first harvests. Modern version, use homemade or store-bought fish. Emulsion, diluted in water as a soak around plants. Fish provides high nitrogen and phosphorus for strong early growth. As fish decomposes, it feeds soil microbes that then feed plants in a slow, sustained release. The smell can attract animals temporarily, so bury it deep and cover well. Some gardeners save fish scraps in the freezer all year and use them at planting time. Number 6. Seaweed, coastal mineral powerhouse. Collect seaweed from clean beaches away from sewage or industrial discharge. Rinse to remove excess salt. Use as mulch directly on beds, chop and compost it, or steep in water to make seaweed tea. Seaweed is rich in trace minerals and natural growth hormones that help plants tolerate heat, drought, and disease stress. It feeds soil life with complex organic compounds that improve soil structure. Coastal farmers in Europe, Japan, and elsewhere have used seaweed for centuries because it produces lush, disease-resistant crops. Kelp specifically contains alginates that improve water retention in sandy soils. Fresh seaweed breaks down faster than dried, but both work. Some gardeners rinse seaweed multiple times to reduce salt content, though most salt washes off naturally with the first rain. Number 5. Green manure, living fertilizer, you chop and drop. Plant cover crops like clover, vetch, rye, or buckwheat. Let them grow, then chop and drop on the surface or lightly, till in before planting food crops. Clover and vetch fix nitrogen from the air through root nodules. Rye and buckwheat produce massive biomass and create root channels that break up compacted soil. This builds organic matter, feeds microbes, and protects soil from erosion and temperature swings. The system turns sunlight, air, and time into free nitrogen and carbon for your beds. Green manures also suppress weeds by shading them out and can attract beneficial insects when flowering. This technique has been used for thousands of years in crop rotation systems because it rebuilds soil fertility without external inputs. Some cover crops like daikon radish also mine deep nutrients with taproots. Number 4. Biochar, ancient Amazonian soil magic. Make or buy pure charcoal with no additives. Crush into small pieces, not dust. Charge it by soaking in compost tea, diluted urine, or liquid fertilizer. Mix into soil or compost. Biochar acts like a nutrient and microbe hotel. It holds on to nutrients that would otherwise wash away and hosts beneficial microbes. Over time, it builds dark, fertile, stable soil that holds nutrients and water far better than raw dirt. This is the ancient Amazonian terra preta method, where indigenous people created super fertile soils that remain productive centuries later. Biochar is essentially pure carbon with a sponge-like structure full of microscopic pores. Those pores trap nutrients and provide shelter for beneficial bacteria and fungi. It doesn't break down like regular compost, it lasts for hundreds of years. Number 3, DIY paper, seedling pots, zero transplant shock. Wrap newspaper around a glass or jar, fold the bottom, and press to form a pot. No glue, no tools needed. Fill with soil and plant seeds. Once seedlings are ready, plant the whole pot straight into the ground. Newspaper breaks down naturally and roots grow right through the paper with zero transplant shock. These pots are surprisingly sturdy once filled with soil and perfect for crops that hate root disturbance like cucumbers, squash, and beans. You can make them in seconds and they cost nothing. The paper also adds carbon to the soil as it decomposes. Some gardeners use toilet paper rolls cut in half as instant seedling pots. This method eliminates plastic waste and the stress of pulling seedlings from containers. Plants establish faster because roots never get damaged or disturbed. Number 2, winter sowing in bottles, the poor man's greenhouse. This one's commonly called the poor man's greenhouse, and it's heavily practiced in Canada. I'm in zone 3A myself, and I've done this many times, even when there's still snow outside in March and with outside temperature to minus 15 degrees Celsius at night. Honestly, I've gotten better results than when I started seeds inside the house. Cut a clear plastic bottle around the middle, leaving a small hinge. Add soil in the bottom, plant seeds, water lightly. Close the bottle and tape it shut. Punch drainage holes in the bottom and air holes on top. Put bottles outside in winter. Yes, even in freezing temps. Sun and day-night temperature swings naturally stratify and harden seedlings. As spring arrives, the bottle warms during the day like a tiny greenhouse. Seedlings emerge stronger and earlier than indoor starts. Open the bottle for a few days to harden off, then transplant. This protects seeds from snow, wind, and animals while giving them perfect humidity. You don't need lights, shelves, or electricity, and plants end up acclimated to your zone from day one. Number 1, crushed seashells, slug barrier and slow release minerals. If you have access to ocean beaches or big rivers with shells, collect and crush them. Put a ring of crushed shells around the base of plants slugs like to eat. Slugs hate crawling on the sharp, broken surfaces and hate the salt if they're seashells. The shells also act as excellent long-term fertilizer because as they decompose slowly over years, they release calcium, magnesium, and trace minerals into the soil. This is basically free lime for your garden. Crushed oyster shells are particularly rich in calcium carbonate. Some gardeners visit seafood restaurants and ask for discarded shells. The crushed texture also improves drainage in heavy clay soils. This method has been used by coastal farmers for centuries because it solves 2 problems, pest control and soil amendment, with one free material. The shells last for years and keep working long after application. That's it for today. I've got more videos like this coming soon, so subscribe to catch them.